Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. I'm Ron. It's good to get reminders every once in a while that, you're living a magical life, a special life, even if you're not necessarily aware of it. My grandfather, who just passed this summer, he used to tell this story about when he met my grandmother. Now, they knew each other when they were children. I believe they were in like first grade together, but my grandmother moved across town, so my granddaddy lost sight of her. And while they were in first grade, he used to chase her around, throw things at her, flirting how kids flirt and show affection. But when he was in high school, maybe like his senior year, he was walking down Broughton Street in Savannah, and he said he saw this beautiful woman walking. So he walked up to her and he said, I gave her what I thought was my best line. He said, "Hello, beautiful, and where have you been all my life?" My granddaddy said my grandmother stuck her nose in there and turned and walked away. Now, I wouldn't be sitting here today if that was the end of that story. But my granddaddy, changed his approach up. He saw her again, and he approached her in a different way, a more respectful way. Because, my granddaddy was probably thinking, I'm the man. I'm Walter Simmons, I'm 49. And that was his number. That's what they called him. And they were state basketball champions. He was played on the football team. Just a very popular guy. So in his mind, he's thinking, I'm doing her a favor. But he approached her a little bit more humbly the next time. And, things worked out. So, had that gone differently, that little quirk in reality, and I wouldn't be here. And who knows how many of those little quirks in reality had to happen and able to get me to be here right now. And the same holds true for you as well. It takes a whole lot of extraordinary circumstances going exactly right to get to you. They don't like to play up just how important and how special you are, but you are special. There's only one of you down here on this planet. And because you are so special, you are automatically living a magical lifestyle. Now, I got reminded of that the other day. Me and my lady went out to the store in the mall, and we found this statue of Bastut. She's an Egyptian cat goddess. She represents or symbolizes fertility, love, protection, and good health. So we got this statue and put it up in the house, and a couple of days later, like literally 3 days later, there's this orange and white cat that started showing up around our house. Now, I didn't think too much of it at first, but then I started asking myself, well, what does that cat symbolize? And then we went back and we checked when we first got this, and we checked the first time we took a picture of that cat, and it was 3 days later. So now we have this little cat that comes around, we give her food, we've named her Leo, and it's just interesting to see how that happened. Now, I'm sure if you paid attention to your own life, you will see that there are some magical things that happen around you as well. And that's really the point of all this, is finding that magic within yourself or within your own life and bringing it out. Now, on this channel, I like to discuss books that have, shaped and changed my life. And the one I want to show you guys today is The Kemetic Tree of Life by Muwatta Ashby. Ancient Egyptian metaphysics and cosmology for higher consciousness. So if you're here, hopefully you're here because there's something that sparked inside of you that's making you ask questions that want to better yourself. You're asking questions about the nature of existence. And I want to be a guide that can help you get to that point, because nobody else can do it for you. That's something that you're going to have to do on your own. Now, let's start with a quote coming out of this book from Muwatta Ashby. "The wise ones serve the higher planes and rule the lower. In this way, one operates the laws instead of being a slave to them. There are forces and energies that control our reality. And if you're not aware of them, if you don't know how to put them to use, they will control you instead of it being the other way around. Now, to gain control of those realities and those energies and those forces, you have to know yourself. All right, another quote. Salvation is the freeing of the soul from its bodily fetters, becoming a God through knowledge and wisdom, controlling the forces of the cosmos instead of being a slave to them, subduing the lower nature, and through awakening the higher self, ending the cycle of rebirth and dwelling with the netters who direct and control the great plan. Mastery of self consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, thus escaping the pains of the lower by vibrating on the higher. You know, our ancestors in Egypt, they left a lot of things behind for us, a lot of knowledge. But the main thing they left behind was how to bring yourself to the right mentality, the right amount of knowledge, so you're not being brought down to this place if you don't want to be. You know, the Gnostics, the ancient Egyptians, they always talked about reincarnation really being reincarceration. They saw this place as almost like a prison if you're being brought down here continually and not gaining that proper knowledge. And we have a society that, you know, that's promoting that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Matrix, but The Matrix, which was a story that was stolen by the Wachowski brothers, who ironically are the Wachowski sisters now. They've changed their gender. And I believe they did that so they can avoid that lawsuit of the original author of The Matrix. She sued them because they stole her idea. But if you look at that story, The Matrix, it was showing you that you exist in a place where they are feeding, there are entities feeding off of your energy. You know, you are so magical, in fact, that there are beings out there, there are things that want to feed off of your emotions. So they're always going to be, you know, there's always going to be things that are set up to try to drain you of that. But as soon as you understand how the game is played, as soon as you understand just how special you are and your place within that game, you know, it changes everything. You know, we decided to do something a little bit different today and film outside, but filming outside comes with its own challenges. You got outside noise that happens. But it's good to be out here and be surrounded by nature and to see that, you know, all of this emanates from you, from God. You know, this is all a construct that was made by you so you can have this experience. Now, I know that may seem contradictory to what I just said, but, you know, it wouldn't be any fun if there weren't any challenges. Now, something else I wanted to read from you guys out of this book, if I can find it real quick, is that that journey to knowledge begins when you start asking questions about yourself in this reality. Now, Muwata Ashby says, the spiritual journey begins when, due to a certain attainment of virtue which you have attained, your personality becomes purified to a certain extent where you start to question the world and your self-concept with serious inquiries such as, who am I? Why am I here? Why is there so much sorrow in the world? Why does the world seem so futile? What is life all about? What are these divinities? I'm seriously interested in that. I want to know more about life. And that's Heru being born and inquiring about the nature of life and aspiring to discover its secrets and master its powers. When you start to ask these questions and you go after the answers, they'll start to come to you. You're going to run across people and information that's going to make it easier to know. You know, when I graduated from Albany State, I had this idea of what I wanted to do, but then I started feeling, you know, this uneasiness in my spirit. And you know, college is another thing that perfectly symbolizes what life down here is like. Now, everybody at Albany State, we have similar things that happened to us, but we all had a different journey based on what we chose to do while we were in college. Now, I had a ball at Albany State. I enjoyed myself completely. Those are some of the best years of my life. But you had other people who went to Albany State, they didn't enjoy it that much. They say, college was all right. And that's based on their experience and the things that they chose to do while they were there. And it's interesting because you get to school. Well, I got to school and I had this idea of what college was going to be like. Like, oh man, these are like grown women here. They're going to be into like different things. They're going to want mature men. And then I got there and I got to observe and I was like, oh, okay. These women are a lot like the ones that I saw in high school. There's not much difference. And that's interesting because, one of my first experiences with going to a college campus, my high school band director used to take us down to Tallahassee for FAMU's homecoming. And I believe it must have been like a Friday night. They took us to the mall, and us being high school guys and being from Savannah, Georgia, you're seeing a whole different type and breed of woman down in Tallahassee. So we were in the mall, like our eyes just like bugging out of our head, like, oh my God, check her out, yo, check her out. These are women. And that was exciting for us. So that was, served as further motivation to like, yeah, I'm definitely going to college. It's interesting how the woman motivates a man so much. Like, I think it was Dave Chappelle said that if men could figure out how to get pussy and live in a box, niggas would be living in boxes. But a lot of women require more than that, so we do more. We attain a lot of these things and try to build ourselves up for our women because they deserve better. That motivation to be around a different standard or a different class of woman or what we thought was higher, that pushed a lot of us along into college. And then when you get there, you have to realize that, okay, now I have to build myself up. And it's the same thing when you get here. At a certain point, you have to realize, if I want the things that I want in life, and I want to attract the type of woman that I want to me, I'm going to have to build myself out. Six, the goddess said, men are not the prize, a man is supposed to be a tool. And I can agree with that. We build societies and the woman embellish them. So you have to gain some skill about yourself. You have to, gain some knowledge. And then as you attract more knowledge and you gain more skills, you're going to be able to attract a whole lot more to you. Don't let them make it seem like that's a bad thing. Because we're supposed to feed into each other, male and female. Like watching this little cat that we have, Leo. There's something else how that just watching that nurturing quality that comes out of my lady, looking out for Leo, and you see like that feline nature that's in the woman as well. That's fascinating to watch for me. And then also you look at yourself, because I like cats. I like animals in general. I think it would be cool if you had like that Dr. Dolittle power to where you can speak to all animals. That way you can know exactly what's going on in their minds. Because I talked to Leo, and she's warmed up to us. At first, she was very, standoffish. She would kind of run off, but we started putting food out there for her. So she realized, okay, this is a safe place. I can be friendly with these people. And now we're up to petting her. She's come into the house once, looked around, she went back out. So she isn't all the way there yet. But, your energy will speak for yourself. And that's another thing. Your energy will become more at peace, more at ease as you learn more about yourself. Because it's that understanding that brings contentment and brings peace. Books like this that's going to teach you about the nature of reality and your place within that reality, it's always going to be helpful. Guess I should read the back of this to give you a better understanding of what it is. In the early period of ancient Egyptian history, earlier than in any other culture, before the Hindus, Buddhists, Kabbalists, and Taoists, there was a teaching of the tree of life. This was a special teaching describing the secret wisdom about the nature of the universe and of the soul, as well as a path to make the journey through varied phases of spiritual evolution, from mortal to immortal, and from earth to heaven and beyond. The goal is to regain one's divine stature and transcendental place. In its earliest form, originated in ancient Egypt, it was related to theurgical religious system developed in the priests and priestess of the ancient Egyptian city of Anu, and the tree was seen as the source of life. This book explains that teaching, which has been available to all, but missed by those who did not possess the keys to unlock its mystic formula. In this volume, the creation teaching of Anu, the tree of life, metaphysical teachings, disciplines, and techniques from the hieroglyphic texts are given. You know, in past videos, I've liked to talk about you being special. If you doubt that, you have to ask yourself why. Or that's just the ego talking. That's the ego telling you that you're not special. And you got to be careful to get your ego in check. Because if not, you know, that ego will get you in some trouble. Now, because of the preconceived notions that I had in my mind, I thought college women were going to be into a certain type of male. So I really got to like step my game up, be sophisticated, be about business. So when I first got to Albany State, you know, I was carrying a briefcase around campus. Yeah, a briefcase. I had a brown briefcase. And you know, I was carrying different notebooks and music in it because I was a music major. And I remember my friends that I made while I was at Albany State, they used to clown me for that. But I'm glad they were there to, you know, to laugh at me and be like, yo, like relax some. That's like, you know, bring me back down some. I'm glad I ran into those guys. And to learn how to not take yourself so seriously. Because you should take yourself seriously, but it has to be a balance. Because again, this is all a game. The grand game called life. And we're coming down here to master it and to move on. Now, I can't dictate what you're supposed to do. Nobody can dictate what you're supposed to do except yourself. And that's the thing. They don't tell you you have to do this. They say if you do this, you can expect these results. Or if you want to achieve this, then try this. And they let you know, your ancestors let you know the consequences of what can happen when you're just listening to your ego, running from different pleasure to different pleasure. And we have a society that's set up right now that's truly built on self-gratification and instant gratification. Everybody wants it now. Nobody wants to, you know, to build for it, to work for it. But everything happens in its right time. Now, if this information is interesting to you, if it's something that, you know, is speaking to something inside of you, you want to know more, that's a great sign that you're on the right path, that you're supposed to be learning this information. The key is to keep going towards it. Don't get distracted. And that is the challenge down here. You have a lot of things that can be a challenge that takes you away from learning more about yourself. I don't always have the time that I want to have to read as much as I want, because I got to go to work. I have to, you know, make some money. That's going to be the same thing for you probably, especially if you have children. You got to provide. You're looking out for their well-being. But take some time to go within each day. You know, I was browsing social media looking for current events to talk about, to try to relate that magical path. But my lady reminded me that the best place to draw information from is to go within. So I said, well, what can I talk about? What can I say today that's going to spark something inside of somebody? And I came up with talking about that cat, Leo. I just think that's so interesting that we went and we got this statue, this symbol, and then 3 days later that cat showed up. You have some magic going on in your life as well, and you'll never know how it will manifest unless you start keeping an eye out from it. Everything you do is magical. Everything you do is symbolic, but you have to put that meaning and pull it out of there. I'm having my girlfriend is she does a lot of keeping my locks looking clean and healthy. And today we did some crown maintenance. I refer to it as your crown. And that's such a bonding activity for us that brings us closer together. If you have a loved one, if you have a significant other or a partner, I think it's best to try to find those activities that y'all can do together, acts of service that you can do for one another, that's going to bring you closer together. Because finding that right partner is something else that will bring out the best in you. Because when you find somebody that inspires you to want to be your best because they deserve your best, you found someone special. Again, this is The Comedic Tree of Life by Muwata Ashby. Excuse me. I think that is a wonderful book for you guys to pull out. And I think I'm coming to the end of my video. I'll see you next time on Ron's Library and Ideas. Peace.